We're here today because I've been working on climate change for 30 years. I've got 2 kids. I'm not going to sit silently by while a would-be Prime Minister promises to rip up Canada's climate protection plan so oil companies can make a few more years of profits. We are currently locked down in Pierre Poilievre's driveway, Stornoway, the public housing that the Government of Canada provides for him as Leader of the Opposition. We're here to make sure that he recognizes Canadians are not going to stand by while he gives bonuses to oil executives in the form of a free pass on pollution, while the rest of us pay the costs in wildfires, storms, flooding, the costs of climate change that are getting bigger every year because politicians like Pierre Poilievre aren't acting on climate change. Every politician needs to do more, but Poilievre wants to take us backwards. We could have an election any day, and right now Pierre Poilievre is leading in the polls. We want Canadians to know that he is here to protect polluters, not people. He's not working for the rest of us. He's working for the oil executives at Exxon and Suncor who are making big bonuses because we're paying so much for energy when we should be putting heat pumps in every home, making sure people have transit that works, transitioning to electric vehicles. It's cheaper for us, it's going to be better for our cost of living, and it's going to avoid the worst impacts of climate change, because we can't do that if we don't make the biggest polluters, oil and gas companies, do their fair share to address this problem that they've been the biggest source of causing. We've been here since 7 a.m. We're going to stay here as long as we can. And this isn't going to be the last time. If Pierre Poilievre comes out and talks to us, I would love that. I want to talk to him about why he would possibly want to give all these gifts to big polluters and do nothing for people who are being hurt by climate change right now. And our kids are going to be hurt even worse in the future. Pierre Poilievre moves around in a bubble. It's very hard to get to him. I actually went to one of his climate change rallies. I tried to hold up a sign saying "Act on Climate Now." I had an invitation to come to one of his Acts of Tax rallies. I went there. I held up a banner saying "Act on Climate Now." I got tackled by security so hard my keys went flying across the floor, and I got thrown out of the building because I was saying something he said you aren't allowed to say. That is, we need to act on climate change. We need to do that for protect people from the wildfires, from the heat waves, from the floods. These are all going to keep getting worse until we get off of fossil fuels. Our best scientists are telling us we actually have the technology to prevent the worst impacts of climate change, but we can't do that unless we make the biggest polluters, the oil and gas companies, do their fair share to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It's going to make life more affordable. It's going to make life safer. And right now, Pierre Poilievre wants to give big polluters a free pass, and the rest of us are going to pay the cost. Pierre Poilievre has said he's going to scrap the oil and gas emissions cap, he's going to scrap the clean fuel standard, he's going to scrap the clean electricity regulation, he's going to get rid of the Impact Assessment Act. Every major policy that we have in this country to fight climate change, he has said he's going to get rid of, and that's a gift to polluters that, is Donald Trump sized. The wildfires are something I think everyone's beginning to recognize are linked to climate change. Those are driving Canadians from their homes. But there's so many other ways that climate change is making life more expensive for everyone. If you really care about making life more affordable, you are going to have an aggressive plan to get us off of fossil fuels onto clean energy, avoid the worst impacts of climate change while bringing down energy bills. I would love for Pierre Poilievre to come out here, maybe eat an apple, and we can talk about climate action, because he's a man who has promised the oil companies to give them their dream list of policies, and that is betraying everyone else in this country.